YouTube, how's it going? Well, it's starting to slowly go a little bit better. As in, I'm making some progress with my graphics card issue. The first thing I did was I pulled out the old one and I went ahead and tried the GTX 1050 Ti. And the reason for that, well, okay, the reason I didn't try it before is because getting ready to try it, I saw on the box it said Windows 10. And this gave me the idea that the thing was made to run with Windows 10, and my Windows 7 machine wouldn't like that. Well, this is what you get for assuming. Because since then, I went and checked several places, and I found that not only will it quite happily work with Windows 7 64-bit that I have, that it is also quite happy to be compatible with the MSI Z87 G45 gaming motherboard that I'm using. So yeah, plugged that in, got it hooked up, and after several trial and errors from which I found that it wasn't quite seated in the socket correctly, that's a lot of fun, that the system started up and graphics from the graphics card coming out of the HDMI port and going through an HDMI to VGA converter box and then to the monitor worked. It did. And I had my 1600 by 900 screen back. Everything was beautiful. And Minecraft would even start. That was great. But there was a hitch in the get along. Of course. Naturally. And that hitch was that after the system had been booted up for about 5 minutes or so, the monitor went dark. Mind you, the computer had not shut down. The monitor simply went dark. Through another hour or so of trial and error, I discovered that if the system was off for several minutes, it could be booted up and the graphics worked through the graphics card just fine for about 5 minutes or so. And then the screen would go black, as in nothing coming from the graphics card. This gave me a clue. It's like a little clue, yeah? Yeah, it was. What is one thing about graphics cards today compared to graphics cards from, say, 10 years ago? They draw a lot more power. Just idling, they use more power. And then when you ask them to actually do something, it really cranks up. You know, like the 1050 Ti, it's got like 768 CUDA processors. 768 CUDA cores. That's a lot of action going on. Combined with 4 gigabytes of video memory, that thing is doing a lot, and it's doing it fast, which in computers means more power. More power means more heat. More heat is bad. Yes, I know the thing has got these 2 great big ginormous fans on it, and that's great. That doesn't mean it can't get too hot. That doesn't mean it can't have problems not drawing enough power. And that was the thing. It wasn't drawing enough power. You see, I have for years labored under the illusion that what I had was an 850 watt power supply in this thing. I could have sworn that's what it was. I was dead certain that's what I had ordered back when I built this thing in 2014. Yeah. But yesterday I took the time to actually look at and read the sticker on the side of the power supply. It's a 600 watt power supply. The motherboard, memory, fans, hard drives and all that is going to use more than half that easily. Probably a good 400 watts or more just to start the computer up. Checking the specifications on the 1050 Ti, it turns out that that thing cranks up, is going to suck down 300 watts just turning it on. You know, it's going to suck down 300 watts of power. And with the computer sucking down a good 400 watts, oh, gee, 300 and 400 is, well, 700, which is more than the 600 that the power supply is capable of. Which means it's a wonder it got anything done. Never mind lasting only 5 minutes. And so, I have today ordered a new power supply. Double confirming first, that the power supply ordered is 850 watts. How I got away with the 600 for so long, I will never know, and I don't care. So that's on the way. While I was ordering that, I ordered something else. Because while power issues, power failure issues are not nearly as big a deal here in Tulsa as they used to be in Cherokee Village, Arkansas. I mean, there, if it rained so much as somebody spitting, the power could easily have issues and blink and all this crazy crap. A loud blast of thunder and the power could have an issue. A little spring sprinkle and we've got power issues again. Well, I got a hold of something, ordered something to deal with that. Ye old uninterruptible power supply, which is basically a power supply that includes a battery backup. You plug that into the outlet, you plug the computer's power supply into this thing. Well, basically what I'm going to do is the UPS will go into the wall, and the power strip that I get that runs the computer and the monitor will be plugged into the UPS. And so that means that in the event of a power failure, that battery backup will allow me to do a nice, safe, polite, deliberate shutdown instead of just crashing with the power falling out from under it. Which means I get a chance to save my work and exit cleanly, which is very much preferred. What I'd really like to have is a UPS that has enough battery backup to keep the system going at full bore for 24 hours. I realized this would take a huge amount of battery capacity. And it would also be a royal power suck down to get it charged up all the way. Yeah, but it's a step up from where I was last week. So it's going to be better. I have a high degree of confidence that things are going to be improving and better off and so on. Also, folks have commented and asked about the machine that the Hermits bought and sent me. And I can say this about that. First first up, one of the reasons that I'm using my old tower is that my entire digital life is on that machine. All of my games, all of my video stuff, all of my writing, all of everything. It's all built around that thing. And believe me, I would love to have like some kind of fancy RAID array for the hard drives so that I don't risk losing anything. You know, so that if one drive was to fail, you just plug in a new one in its place and keep going and not lose anything. It would be beautiful to have something like that. And maybe I'll get there someday. But yeah, another reason for not using the newer one yet is because, quite frankly, I don't have physical place to set it up. Because in setting it up, I need to have both machines available. Because that's just the way that has to be. I need to be able to have both of them available, ideally right next to each other, so that all I have to do is rotate the chair from one to the other, and so on. And that kind of setup is not possible right now. I will get there. I will absolutely get there. That said, I have another issue. I hate and despise the idea of Windows 10. I don't like the idea of converting to Windows 10 because, quite frankly, Windows 7 does everything I need it to do. I don't have anything that won't run on Windows 7. Of course, why would I? You know. And then, of course, there's the fact that I am not a huge fan of change. I mean, seriously. I was using Windows XP Pro Service Pack 3 for 4 years after Microsoft declared end of life on it. Heck, my laptop still has Windows XP Pro on it. Of course, granted, I've turned it on about like 3 times this year, so I don't use it much anymore. But there you go. Anyway, things are looking better. And we'll see about what my new orderings, my new stuff when it gets here, how that goes. It should be here within the next 7 to 10 days or so. So we'll see, you know, before Christmas. Anyway, that's what I got for right now. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here. Mr. TinFoilChef.